Hey, Carl, want to hop on my rod?
I don't know.
Ghost Rider! Oscar Carl, doing Ghost Rider. Who'd watch this? Anything to add, Carl?
My name is Carl.
My name's Oscar.
And this
Ghost
is
Rider.
Who Would Watch This?
Who would watch this? Welcome to Who Would Watch This, the podcast where we watch a film, talk about the film, and then try and figure out who would watch this.
Today we're discussing Nicolas Cage's classic Ghost Rider. Currently has a 26% on Rotten Tomatoes, a 5.3 on IMDb, and a 2.1 on Letterboxd. Oscar, what is the plot?
When motorcyclist rider Johnny Blaze sells his soul to the devil to save his father's life, he is transformed into the Ghost Rider, the devil's own bounty hunter, and is sent to hunt down sinners. Wow, fucking we. And this was I think the first Marvel film. This is the first one in the MCU, so really bold move on their part.
Yeah, absolutely. The people seem to think that it begins with Iron Man, but it doesn't. It begins with Nicolas Cage.
It does. Riding a hot rod and just freaking doing some stuff.
Oscar, I won't lie to you. This is fucking terrible. This is a terrible film.
I think it is, and I think we're going to chat about it, just like what a superhero film used to be. I mean, there's like some glowing examples, but there's a lot that this director especially, it used to be a filthy, horny mess, and that was pretty much the standard. But before we do that, let's rewind to what our past selves thought about the film and who they thought would watch it.
Oscar, the last Nicolas Cage film, Ghost Rider. Have you seen it before?
I've not. I've seen Nicolas Cage on the bike going, rah, rah, and his face is going all fucked up, and I went, all right, I'll watch that. That looks fun.
Yeah, so you've basically seen the whole film.
Oh, good. Okay, well, we'll skip this one then. Have you seen this one?
I'll tell you right now, this was the movie I probably watched the most the year it came out. I overused the DVD to the point that it did not work properly. I was the biggest fan
That's
of
a
Ghost
hard
Rider.
task to do. That's a digital, that's a compact disc. That's pretty
I know,
hard
you've
to
only
do.
got to slightly drop it once before it's nearly inusable. It's like a sliced buttered piece of toast, and you're like, oh, what way is it going to fall? And it's like, it always falls on the side that is the media.
And it just scratches it up on your scratchy floor. Yeah, so big hate of DVDs here.
We all lived in amongst gravel, didn't we?
Yeah, my house was
All of my flooring in my house?
It was carpet or gravel. The rich kids had the carpet, us poor kids had the gravel. And it really showed, except they used video over there, so that didn't really work, and we had DVDs.
I know. It also really frustrated me, because Mum would be like, no shoes on the gravel. And I'd be like, oh, no. And just prickle yourself trying to walk over it, and she's like, don't you stain that floor. And I'm like,
Get your blood off the...
hurts so
Get your blood...
much.
Do you know how hard it is to vacuum up gravel? You can't. It just goes up there. It's hard to clean. You've got to individually clean the rocks.
I know, and then Mum would get all up me and she'd be like, you've left this trail of blood and dead skin. Ugh, what are we going to do with you? You know what? Crawl on your knees. And I'd be like, please don't make me crawl on my knees on the gravel.
What happened to your knees, Carl?
More blood? More dead
Exactly.
skin?
Mum got more furious. Tell her what she did. She snapped your Ghost Rider DVD in half. Broke your little soul, it did.
Makes... Eva Mendes, no! And that was the last time I saw her beautiful face.
Sorry, this is your most watched film in 2007.
Oh yeah, I was obsessed with this. This was the coolest film ever made, and then I'm pretty sure I didn't watch it past that year once, and I had pretty high hopes going.
Were you was
Oh,
this
sorry.
like your like 10 or 11?
Yeah, probably.
It's pretty juicy.
Like, I don't know. I just remember being like, oh, there's a wind man and a gravel man and a water man and a dislocated jaw man. Remember when everybody was like the height of like CGI was somebody screaming and their jaw going
Oh
lower
my god,
than
we'd
their
never
actual
seen
face.
it before. We'd never seen it before. We didn't know that was humanly possible, and it isn't. But the computers, it's pretty much, it's the first AI, and I'm just so glad.
Oh.
It was amazed us. But here we are. I mean, you were amazed by Nicolas Cage on a bike with a flaming skull.
I was pretty into it. Don't you? I remember like Roger Ebert was like, I've never seen so much jaw in a film before. 4 out of 4. And I was like, Roger, I get it.
Why did they use that shitty system of a 4-star? Did they ever go into that? 'Cause I think that's just... Is it to force them not to just give an average score?
Maybe. I think so. I think it was so it was either like a negative or a positive.
I get that. That's fair.
You couldn't come down in the middle. Because remember, I think originally the Roger Ebert thing was it was either a thumbs up or a thumbs down.
And Gene just came in and was like, don't you fucking dare. There's 2 thumbs now, so it's going to be... It's a 4. That's how they did it. It was 4 thumbs.
Look how many thumbs we've got. Look at them, Roger.
Roger, you fucking moron. 4 of them. You're not going to be able to do it. Ghost Rider, what do we think,
Count
Carl?
your thumbs.
What do we think, Carl? Ghost Rider. Who's this for? It was for you at age 11. I think we've solved it.
Oh, God. I'm fingers crossed. I'm hoping it's for me at age 24. Oscar, who do you think it's going to be for?
Well, I am an 11-year-old boy, so strapped in, ready to watch this. Cannot wait.
I forgot the dynamic of the show was so bizarre. I really thank your mum for letting you on the podcast today.
Yeah, a big shout out to my mother for signing the permission slip to... And I just want to stress this. There's even though this seems creepy, it's not. It's just a boy and a young man chatting about films week in, week out, and just seeing who would watch this. There's no... I think the dynamic works if you don't think about it.
You can't see, the audience can't see, but I'm immediately admitting that the dynamic does not work. All right, Oscar, let's get into it. Ghost Rider. I would, in relation to old Carl, that was anticipating perhaps enjoying this film very much, you were wrong. You were very wrong.
11-year-old you was wrong about a film. Well, let's just jump into it. So it's a Marvel film, which kind of threw me. This is like just before Iron Man, so it would have been strange that there would have been a chat just like, do we have Nic Cage as a Marvel? Do we have... Like, if Samuel L. Jackson was at the end of this one, do we think Avengers would have been a thing?
Do you reckon they had the finished product? And they were like, don't bring Samuel in. Like
Samuel about to walk on stage, like, no, we'll save you for Robert Downey Jr. That drug addict, count me out.
I love the idea that they had so many, like, false starts that they were like, all right, and... No, we just saw the final cut. Just don't bring Samuel
just
in from
sitting
his
in the
contract.
background, like I'm in that warm red trench coat for 2 years. Just like, is it time? No.
I can only imagine they finished the first Iron Man and were like, oh, thank God, this one's good. It's okay, bring him in.
Oh, thank God, he's sweaty.
This one's good.
He's just so sweaty in that goddamn leather trench coat. It's like, oh boy, you're gonna be a Marvel man, Mister Tony Stark.
It's one of those things from when you're like sitting around on set and it's like, oh, do you reckon I've got time to go like grab a coffee? And they're like, yeah, you've got time. And then you immediately leave and they call you and they're like, we were so wrong. Run! Run back for the shot now.
That drug addict made a movie and it was okay. It was okay. We didn't think it was going to happen. You've not seen The Big Lebowski, have you?
Unfortunately, I have not.
Okay, well, Sam Elliott, who's the cowboy in this, is like, I think his most iconic role is either The Big Lebowski or The Ranch, which we both love, I think. It's a great TV show. But
we're huge fans of The Ranch.
This podcast
fans.
primarily is to raise funds for season 2 of The Ranch.
I don't think they need any help. I think they're way on. Like they're on probably like I think they're in parts. The Ranch. It's alternate.
It's a weird like. It's a weird like. It's like an A24 film, but like right-wing cowboys. I don't know whose market it is, but someone's watching it. Anyway, Sam.
I always felt bad about like because I thought Ashton Kutcher evolved from that 70s show into being like a movie actor that he then had to like regress back into like 2.5 Men and The Ranch. Like I don't know, like what did he do to his career?
He must have just caused, a sin, and maybe he signed a deal with the devil. I don't know. Maybe there's something there. We're getting into the film. Bam, Sam Elliott. So he's the cowboy in this film. He's the brooding narrator, and pretty much he explains what a Ghost Rider is.
I know. Needlessly, in retrospect, none of this information's necessary. You'll learn it through the film.
Yeah,
I'm very sick of explanation dumps.
Well, is it exposition dumps, or is it just they went, fuck, there's not many Ghost Riders in the first 40 minutes. Should we show them some Ghost Riders? Because they think the shots are cool in this. I think when they have, like, a flaming guy on a horse, they're like, that's tight. People are gonna love that.
But I never understand with this sort of stuff, when it's like... So it's this exposition dump, then like 15 minutes of Nicolas Cage's backstory, and then the film starts. And I'm like, why wouldn't you just put his backstory into the exposition if you're going to do an exposition dump? I don't think I brought it up with The Kissing Booth 3, but like the first 20 minutes might as well have just been put into her opening. This happened, and that happened, and this happened.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like, just so they can hurry up and just get to being like, and now we're at the beach house. But instead it's like, oh, I don't know, like all of this other... And I'm like, if you're going to do an exposition dump, do it properly and just quicken this film by 15 minutes.
Just with The Kissing Booth, they had the best thing, because they have this like thing they've got going where they just dump a bunch of information, and that's kind of fun. They do that. Can't believe they drew out for 20 minutes like, this is a letter we wrote when we can't keep talking about The Kissing Booth 3. but you're right.
Let's do it.
Right, Joey King.
Joel
I
Courtney.
just don't
Continue.
Yeah. So Sam Elliott, if you don't know who Sam Elliott is, he's a cowboy. I don't know if he's an actor, but he's a cowboy. That's pretty much who he is as a person. He pretty much says there used to be a Ghost Rider, and there's one every generation, and pretty much the devil uses the Ghost Rider to get contracts. Do we know what the contract... It's annoying that there's an exposition dump. I don't know things. Like, how dare this film confuse me? Maybe I'm just an idiot. But
I didn't get it either. What is the contract? What does it do? Why does anybody need it?
Well, is it a contract like your life?
I've never seen...
Is that your life?
Well, why is it a contract to souls? Why does the devil even need them? Doesn't he just collect them anyway? I'm constantly confused over the movie basically begins and is like, this is the purpose of the Ghost Rider. And by the time its exposition ends, you go, oh, so there's no need for a Ghost Rider. That's pretty much it. That's the opening.
Well, because it seems like it's the Grim Reaper, but it seems like it's like the Uber Eats of the Grim Reaper. Like, occasionally the devil's having a cheat meal and has to send him out to like get a soul. I'm not sure why this is what we need. But we're agreed. A contract's like your soul for somebody, right?
Yeah, most of the movie revolves around the fact that the devil constantly goes, I don't know, I haven't got power here. Yeah, he hasn't got power anywhere. He's the most inefficient devil I've ever met. Constantly, he's like, hey, I'm better than you, and somebody's like, you have no power. You're pointless here. I am your child, and I could kill you. Like, he goes away like a fart in the wind every time he gets called out.
Fuck you, Dad.
Oh, honestly. This is the worst iteration I've seen of the devil ever. He's pointless. He's awful. All right, so we're into this opening of young Nicolas Cage being an awful stunt driver.
Yep, him and his father.
Him and his dad do the lamest stunts I've ever seen at a circus. I don't know who would pay to see this. I don't know who would think it was cool. I don't know who would think this is a turn on. And I don't know who would think this young person looks like Nicolas Cage.
He's like a Ken doll. And then, like, you see Nicolas Cage, and he has the same hair, but it's just Nicolas Cage.
Oh, that's it. It's weird because they nail Eva Mendes. Like, it looks like maybe they de-aged her. But he's so unlike Nicolas Cage.
They had the budget for one person.
It's a real...
They were like, which one? We'll go for Eva. She's the best one to do.
Yeah, I love the idea that they're like, we'll go for the person that isn't the main character. It's weird too, because you watch it and you're like, oh, well, if you got somebody that doesn't look like the actor they're going to turn into, you must have gotten them because they're a really good actor. Nope. Like...
He's so pretty much they do these lame stunts, right? They're like it's like 2 ramps and a big flame thing, and the flame thing looks cool, but it is just them driving up. Like I think I could do it. I've never ridden a motorbike, but I think I could do it.
I reckon I could do it on a fucking bicycle. Give me 20 minutes and I'll do it now. This is the lamest stunt ever.
But yeah, so then I think what's it called? What's it? Johnny Storm? No, it's not Johnny Storm. That's Fantastic Four. It's something like that. What's Nick?
Johnny Cage. Johnny Cage or Jimmy Cage or something like
that. He does a stunt to impress Eva, who's the love interest of the film. Screws it up, and Dad's like, you screwed up the stunt, boy. You screwed up the stunt, but I'm still proud of you. And then has a big drag of a cigarette, Carl. Oh no. A big cigarette.
It's such a shame because the dad's the best character in the film. And they kill him off so
proud
quickly.
Father. He's got like a scrapbook of all their good adventures. I went, oh, and Nic Cage's character steals cigarettes. Like, I'm leaving the circus, Dad. I'm gonna fuck this broad. And the dad's like, I made the scrapbook though, son. Please.
I love how hot and cold the dad is, in terms of just being like, what are you, an idiot? Do you reckon she's gonna stand by you when you're in a wheelchair? Like, he's like, this job is terrible. And then, like, Johnny's like, okay, I don't want to do this job anymore. And he's like, what do you mean you don't want to do this job? This is the best job in the whole damn world.
We get paid to almost kill ourselves. And the money's bad. But we're a family.
He's always just like, oh, do you really want to run away in this little town for the rest of your life, Johnny?
It's funny
that...
And
the moment Johnny wants to leave, he's like, why won't you run away in this town with me, Johnny?
It's ironic because the dad would have run away to the circus. Now Johnny wants to run away from the circus. So it's full circle.
That's such a powerful statement. I hadn't considered it. 5 stars.
Give Ghost Rider 5 stars for the metaphor of what it is to be entrapped. You can't escape being escaping. What? Anyway.
Ghost Rider, Europe's Most Wanted. That's what I want from this. Love the circus.
We'll say it right now. We defend the circus. Never has the circus been anything wrong. They do no wrong. We also don't like animals.
I hear the circus treats its animals to perfection.
They get loads of
Lets
peanuts.
them shit where they want. Never used a whip. They've never used a whip, I hear. When a man comes out with a gun, a whip, and a chair with a lion, I hear those are props, and he's never used them.
We are sponsored by Big Circus. We should disclose that. Big Circus got deep pockets, let me tell you.
If you want SeatGeek to give you cheap tickets to the circus, you just type in who would watch this.
If you need a website to advertise your circus and that you're not being an animal cruelty, use Squarespace.
I love it. We're also sponsored by PETA today.
Yeah. Big fan of animals. Cannot stress that enough. We're big fans.
We're also sponsored by Al Gore and big oil companies. Yes, we will sell ourselves to anyone.
Anybody, even a good cause, we'll sell ourselves to.
Absolutely, and even a bad cause.
Truly, any cause is a cause for us.
As long as I'm making money.
It's actually like...
Absolutely. I will start a cause. I wouldn't advertise my course on here. I'll say it now.
Anyway, if you do want to be a sponsor of this show, please email us at ask.w.
Otherwise, we will automatically assume you want to be a sponsor, and we'll start plugging
your stuff. I tell you what, you pay us to not plug your stuff. How about that? Hey, Nike, we love your shoes. Us too, we look great in them.
Oh, look at all this Prada we're in. Oh, look at it.
We're just in some gorgeous little Gucci dresses, some nice Nike, and we have an abundance of animals around us. The sound guy has to edit out the noises they're making.
Did you hear that? It's a sad elephant crying because its Gucci fell off it.
Johnny finds a letter that the dad is dying of cancer, and the devil shows up. He's like, hey, I can save your dad with a little contract. And Nicolas Cage is like, huh? What? And then the devil grabs his hand, blood starts pouring out of his hand, drops in the contract. The devil's like, gotcha! Then puffs away like a goddamn fart.
Oh god! Like I said, worst version of the devil ever. He's like, "You signed the." He's basically just like he's basically like a door-to-door Jehovah's Witness. He's like, "Well, we gotcha!" And runs away.
That's what they do.
Like,
But, like, it's not like he got him,
No,
like, in
it's
a
true.
clever riddle or anything. Like, even Rumpelstiltskin in Shrek 4 got him by a clever riddle. Like, this guy's just like, got your blood!
Where are the riddles? Surely Ghost Rider's built on more riddles.
I feel like the riddle quota was not matched, and that's the thing about those new Marvel films. They match the riddle quota constantly. There's about 4 riddles each scene, and I love that about Joss Whedon.
I have heard the new Shang-Chi is filled to the brim with riddles. Some might say it's a backdoor film for the movie The Riddler from DC. They've bridged the properties.
That's the thing, they've merged in this hideous glob of corporate sludge, and the corporate sludge has been held up by riddles, and that's what I, as a film buff, like.
We do love a riddle. What gets wetter as it dries?
Oh, a towel! A towel! Yes!
Wrong. The Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Damn, it does get us wet.
All right. So he makes the deal with the devil, and then the dad dies anyway. Even though the devil took away his cancer, the dad dies the next day doing the stunt he's done his entire life. He's driving normally and just topples over, and I have no idea how he's died.
It's the lamest, because we must stress, these are 2 ramps about 30 centimeters in height, and there's a big hoop, and he just drives off, and I think he falls on the ground, but, like, what a lame way to die.
It's like he wanted to, like I said, anybody could do this stunt at any time. I could do it on a unicycle. I could do it in Heelys. That's how easy the stunt is. He's on a motorbike and he doesn't get enough speed on a 30-centimeter incline ramp and topples over into a flame. I'm sorry, Johnny. Your dad deserved to go.
He was a bad stuntman, and he shouldn't have done that. Anyway, this is pretty much broken Nicolas Cage. He then has to... The devil's like, all right, you signed the contract. Now, here are the rules. Again, rules are kind of shaky. He's like, no friends, no love, and no family. And Nic Cage is like, well, I won't try and push those rules. He doesn't even... For all we know, he can do that. The devil's just trying to put it on him. But then he leaves Eva. What's her name? Roxy, that's it.
I do love it because in the next scene, it immediately establishes that Johnny has a lot of friends and they're pretty much family to him, and he's still in love. So he didn't lose anything.
The devil just said these bullshit rules, and he's gone, well, I won't push it. You're right, Mr. Devil.
I'm convinced originally it was a riddle, and they had to edit it into a set of rules.
Here's the thing. For all Nic Cage knows, the devil didn't cure his cancer. The dad could just been feeling good that day. This just might have been a man's like, I've got your blood, and he's pretty much changed his entire life for this man.
I thought it was really rude of Johnny Cage to then go out of his way to drive by Eva Mendes at that tree, to stop, look at her, and then keep on driving.
Yeah, I mean, like, because, like, if you're ghosting somebody, riding, if you will, that's clever.
That's clever. Write that down.
I'll write that down.
It's not,
I'll
we haven't recorded it anywhere.
No, it's fine. It's gone forever. Is it ruder to ghost somebody, or is it ruder to pop to the dates, sort of wave, and then drive off?
I guess you'd want to wave and drive off.
It feels more smug, though. I feel like he can talk to her, though. Why doesn't he give her a talk?
Well, he's just been told he's not allowed love, friends, or family.
But then he finds her later. I don't know. It's ridiculous. Anyway, we're now with adult Nic Cage. He's the best stunt driver ever.
Yeah.
Because he can't die? Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. So there's a guardian angel looking over him. Because the devil has a use for him down the road, the Ghost Rider cannot die until his purpose is, like, used. So all he does is he keeps on trying to kill himself over and over and over again. And as we see from one character later in the film go, I paid a lot of money to see you die and you didn't. So now I'm gonna kill you. Anyway, that's pretty good writing.
It doesn't get better than that. All right, so we got some guy is his like manager, I guess, and he's
a bit of fun.
He's a bit of fun. I like him. Yeah, so he's done this massive stunt where he's jumped over a bunch of buses, immediately more impressive than his dad's done. He jumps over like 30 buses. He can't die. The dude's like, all right, you've nailed it, Johnny. Get onto the tour bus. They get on the tour bus. We should now notice that Nic Cage doesn't drink or smoke in this movie. What he does to relax is just eats jelly beans out of like a glass.
It's one of the most repulsive things I've seen an actor do on screen. He doesn't even drink a glass of water. The man has replaced all of his liquid intake with jelly beans. Yeah, he's just replaced his liquid intake with jelly beans. That's not good. The man comes back from a day on the road and is like, "No, you want a glass of jelly beans, friend?" And sits down and then proceeds to not eat the jelly beans, but drink them like a
gets
maniac.
his teeth and scrunches up it. It's gross. Also, would that relax you after? Was that like a way to take off the day? It feels like sugar would just keep you kind of energized. I don't think it would relax you. Also, he does insane adrenaline things. I don't think sugar is what he needs.
I know. If he's not having liquids, what's he shitting? Where's his fiber? The man's internal
is he shitting out
consumption system?
I want to say this is in Hop. Does he shit out jelly beans? Is that the plot?
Russell Brand does shit out jelly beans.
So he has the same digestive tract as Hop, the movie.
I guess when you think about it, Hop is a lot like Ghost Rider. The dad doesn't want the son, or wants the son to become the Easter Bunny. Mm-hmm. And then in Hop, the dad wants the son to become the Easter Bunny too.
Is there a devil contract in Hop? I assume there is.
Both are about rock bands.
Okay, well, that's pretty much...
I think David Hasselhoff's in both.
He plays the devil. Not many people know that.
But yeah, so let's fast forward to Eva Mendes rocks up. You know these... Isn't this like such old style 2000s writing? Just the chick like being suddenly there, like as a reporter backstage somehow.
She's always a reporter though, isn't she? That is such a cliche of that early 2000s.
And I'm gonna tell you, she gets maybe the worst journalism award out. Like, her chat with Nicolas Cage is absolutely terrible. The producer is next to her being like, "God, you're so fucking fired. You're absolutely awful at this."
You've grabbed he famously doesn't do interviews, and you've got him. And the man, Nic Cage, is like, "What are you up to today?" And she's like, "How was the jump?" He's like, "What would you want to do dinner?"
He's like, "Sorry, I'm all over the place. I haven't had water in 30 years. I've only eaten jelly beans.
I've got the shakes.
Haven't had solid food in months. You want to come to a candy factory with me?
I'm gonna shit out goo. Help me, Roxy. Help me."
And so for a hot minute, she's like, "All right, I'm gonna fuck off because you were mean to me." He then jumps over some helicopters, keeps driving from the stunt onto the highway, and chases down her car.
Many would believe the villain...
Pretty romantic, if you ask me.
So romantic. She's like, "I'm not chatting to him." The driver of the van that they're in is like, "Can you sort this out? I'm freaking out." Nic Cage like slaps him on the face like, "Hey, let me talk to her." She's like, "I'm not in the mood." He's like, "Well, then I'll cause a 20-man pile up." And he's like, "All right, bit of fun." They're friends now, aren't they?
Yeah, I guess so. They're just like suddenly friends. This movie constantly is trying to have like a sense of humor. Like this is such an unfunny film. Like I was like, oh, the generalized humor in blockbusters has gotten better.
I think so. Like it's still like it's not like
there is a part in this where most of the comedy is just Eva Mendes drinking a full bottle of wine and a waiter being like, "You're not attractive."
Oh, how mean!
I was like, "Oh my god!"
That? Yeah, they organize a date. She's like, "Hey, am I attractive?" And the waiter's like, "You're scum. Yeah, no one would fuck you. No one would fuck." Looking down the camera, just like, "You're a piece of fucking garbage. No one would impregnate you." And that made it to the screen, and we had to watch that.
You don't get to say that.
Only Nicolas Cage gets to say that. He has a motorbike. You're just a scummy little waiter.
Anyway, do we want to get to when he turns into the Ghost Rider? That
is fun. Yeah, it's crazy that this film just kind of... It's insane what they've chosen to show, because it's a pretty quick film, like an hour 40. we've got all this. This is like a half an hour. So finally we're into the Ghost Rider bit, right?
Yeah, which is the main reason you would take an acting role like this. Like, you don't have to act whenever you're the titular character.
Yeah, how great. You can really tell. Like, his stunt double is good because it's just his body, but you can just tell by the hands are off.
Yeah, the skull fingers are off. I was like, those aren't the skull fingers of Nicolas Cage.
Of Nicolas Cage. I would know his skeleton.
If there's any actor that would have just learned how to act like somebody on fire, though, it's probably Nicolas Cage.
Yeah. So
should we talk about the villain, then? Maybe we should talk about the villain.
Let's talk about the villain. Oh, it's Wes.
Wes Bentley. Yay.
He's from American Beauty and Hunger Games. What's he doing in this, Carl?
I don't know, doing his best, like, Crispin Glover impersonation? I don't know what he's doing.
I like him, and I wish the film was more silly, because I think he'd be a fun, silly villain. But he is just a silly villain, but not intentionally. Anyway, he is the devil's son, and he's teamed up with a bunch... I thought, was this not the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse?
I don't know.
Or is this...
Because what's his power?
His power's daddy issues? I don't know. It's because all his friends... Like, one's got wind, one's water, one's...
Gravel.
Is one fire? No, it's just 4 of them, right?
Yeah, because Ghosty's fire.
Yeah.
But maybe that's who Ghost Rider is? He's the 4th one?
Yeah, maybe.
But it's like, who created these people? Why can't the devil be on Earth? Why can these people be on Earth, but the devil can't? Because they kill this entire bar of people, and the devil's like, what are you doing here? And then the son's like, I don't know, you've got no jurisdiction, so fuck off. And the devil's like, you're right, I'll leave.
The devil gets bogged down by paperwork constantly. He's like, there's no fucking... I don't have the permit to be up here. You're the devil.
I know.
You've won.
It's like, this is such an awful movie when you realize it's just about contracts. Like, and that's it. Like, it's absolutely
decorated
terrible.
With cool bikers and flaming skulls, but at the end of the day, it's just the nitty gritty of contracts.
I hate all of this. So when he turns into the Ghost Rider, he's like, cool, I now have to go and attack these 4 villains.
Yeah.
And so the movie is very much one by one him killing each, like, villain. And it's like, there's a part where the villains think they've killed Ghost Rider because there's a chain around his neck. Why would that kill him? Why are these villains so dumb? They've all got superpowers. Their main plan to kill him is to crash a truck into him.
Yeah,
You've got powers.
They pat their hands like, we got him. We got him. For all they know, it's him. Like, you know what kills you. They're not dead. Anyway, he kills one of them by the chain, right? The cool... Because I think this is like his power now. He has a chain around himself.
That's right. And this is what Fleetwood Mac was singing about.
Yeah, it's not about, the struggles of marriage. It's actually Ghost Rider's cool chain.
No, Dreams.
Oh, I'm not a big Fleetwood Mac fan, so I wouldn't know. Real quickly, though, Ghost Rider looks...
No, it was the chain.
Real quickly. I feel like Ghost Rider, if you want like a visual of what Ghost Rider looks like, he looks like a 2004 like screensaver of like a man with a skull. That's pretty much... I think you've nailed it. It's what you think at 11 is the coolest thing ever.
These were the best special effects I'd ever seen. Ever seen. Honestly, when Avatar rolled its credits in 2009, I was like, has nothing on Ghost Rider.
James Cameron kicking himself in the corner like, fuck, I knew that. I tried, but fuck, you can't do it.
I think... we need to let people know that we have a sense of connection with this film because it is all shot in Melbourne.
Is it actually?
Yeah. It's like all Melbourne. That's why there's a young Rebel Wilson smack bang in the middle of it.
I was gonna say, what's she doing here? Ghost Rider kills one of the horsemen, and then he's like, he gets his like spidey senses. He's like, there's a crime happening, and then Rebel Wilson in full goth makeup is getting mugged like comically with like a handbag, and then Ghost Rider is like, let me just absolutely overdo the situation. He grabs the man who's like mugging her. Sure, that's a crime and it's bad, but he pretty much goes, I'm gonna make sure you see everything that's been bad to you and then use that against you in your brain, burns his eyeballs and kills the man.
It's pretty powerful.
Pretty powerful.
These graphics of fire and screaming that pop up on the screen go for so long. So long. I was like, oh my god, you just cut this. Cut this bullshit.
And then 2007, that was the most impressive thing they could do. Like, holy fuck, there's people overlaid with fire. How the fuck did you do that?
Everything about this movie is so 2007. The movie has the audacity to then be like, oh, what if to people around Ghost Rider this was a murder mystery? Like, oh, could you not? This is not even Eva Mendes reporting jurisdiction, yet she is reporting on this. Why is she still here? Why is she there?
She goes up to the police commissioner, just like, what's the go? He's like, fuck off.
I don't think she's ever been to a crime scene before. She's like touching everything. Like a hand falls down. She's like, oh, a dead body. Oh my god. Like, and then she
kicking evidence.
Yeah, she's like, well, this is useless. Later, they've sealed off the crime scene. She walks in and she's like, I don't know, looks like brimstone, doesn't it? And the police commissioner's like, you're with me. Like, what is happening?
She pretty much walks in, sneezes, and goes, oh, I know who's been here.
She, like, goes down to the ash with her finger, licks it, and is like,
jelly beans.
There's been a murder. Jelly beans. Hopper's been here. Either two people are here.
The Easter Bunny or Nic Cage with flames.
So everybody seems to think that Nicolas Cage has killed this one trucker who the 4 villains killed before Ghost Rider rocked up. So when they arrest Nicolas Cage, they try and do like a good cop, bad cop routine on him.
Oh, it's hilarious. They're like... Because they do, like, both them being the bad cop and the good cop. Then Nic Cage is like, you're the good cop, you're the bad cop. They seems like they both get insecure.
I don't get... Is good cop, bad cop even a thing? Why would that ever work?
Oh, no. I think it would work in, like, before it was, like, such a cliche. Like, if you have, like, an angry man screaming at you, and then you got, like, a nice guy like, hey, that guy was pretty crazy, huh? Let's just chat, you and me. That could work, but now you know it. But these cops weren't either good or bad. They were kind of like to both Nic Cage in the room, so you're a cunt. We like that about you. Nic Cage is like, good cop. He hasn't even labeled it right.
These 2 cops just try and force Nicolas Cage into a confession for no reason.
Yeah, like all cops do. We've seen Making a Murderer.
You know what? This movie was ahead of its time.
Yeah.
I think these are awful cops.
Yeah, they're bad cops.
These are bad cops. They disappear from the film, too. I don't know why we spend so much time with them in the middle of the movie when they don't influence the third act at all.
No, not the slightest. Anyway, they kind of arrest him. They don't really get a confession. I don't know what they've got him on.
Yeah, neither.
But they're pretty much like, they angrily grab him like he's like pretty much like a murderer, and then go down to the basement of the police station, throw him in there. Nic Cage is like, oh no, you can't put me in here. I'm gonna. As he's doing this, people are trying to chat to him. Nic Cage obviously was like, I didn't read that in the script. I'm continuing with my rage. They're like, hey boy, I wanted to see you die. Nic Cage's like, almost coming, and then he just starts like flaming and killing this entire basement of criminals.
He does, and then steals somebody's jacket.
Yeah, so he steals the tough guy of the group's jackets. He then grows like the spikes out of the jackets.
Does he? I wasn't sure whether it was his power doing that or whether the jacket had that capability.
I think the jacket had that capability.
That's basically a weapon. They basically gave that guy a weapon in jail. These are awful cops.
Or pivots, maybe the jacket was one of the 5th Horsemen, and his power was Wolverine. Imagine Wolverine with a jacket. That's what he is. What a lame superhero.
What a great team up it would be to see Wolverine versus Ghost Rider's jacket. That's a film. That's a Hobbs and Shaw.
I think this is very clever. So pretty much Ghost Rider gets his whistles and his bike comes down. He escapes the police office. Now, this is clever, Carl. On the sign where he drives out, it says garage. but the G and the A rubbed out, so it says rage, pointing down Nic Cage. Do we dissect that? What does that mean?
I think we'll leave it.
We just cannot understand it. That's my thing.
I just thought everything about that one 30-second moment was bizarre. It was like, who thinks whistling is cool? And then to do that light gag.
The person who does a jacket extend like an erection and a flame skull. Also, this entire, so that pretty much Nic Cage is on the run. And what city is this? We like what do we think this is?
Like, I get it's shot in Melbourne, but I think they're maybe trying to make it look like New Jersey, or I don't know.
Well, like the police presence is insane. They pretty much have like 40 SWAT vans on this man in mere moments.
I know, right? Considering he's killed one person, technically there's no proof, but one person.
Yeah,
like,
it's not even. Yeah, they don't even think he. It's just like you're a suspect.
Yeah,
and they have such a arson at their like control.
So yeah, and then this leads up to Ghost Rider just decides to like be like awful to a helicopter. He's like, I'm gonna be mean to this helicopter right now. It's gonna swing you around. I was like, oh, all right.
I thought he was gonna kill them. He also, just so you know, he drives at the building, and Roxy notices that he's driving at the building. She's like, oh. That's my Nic Cage. So that's just a little sprinkle thing. But yeah, he almost kills his helicopter, chooses not to. Then
Windman.
He kills Windman, doesn't he?
This is one of those things where Windman's like, you can't do anything with the wind. You can't catch the wind. And Ghost Rider just keeps on like swatting him, and he's like, you can't catch the wind. So Nicolas Cage just twirls a chain like a tornado, and that somehow catches him when the guy could just fly away. Fly away! Move an inch backwards. You're
Make
the
another
wind.
tornado. You had so many options. All he could do was slightly move, and he fucked it. He pretty much is God. I don't know how you can fuck the wind.
I've never seen a man so confident. You can't do it with the wind. And I'm the wind. Oh, no. Oh, no. No. Oh, you caught the wind now, haven't you? Like, oh, dude.
So cocky and shut down so quickly.
Also, these people don't have superpowers. Because he's the wind, he can't hurt anybody. Like, all he does is wind around people. What was he going to do to Ghost Rider?
Give him a slight breeze.
What was he there to do?
He was gonna tornado. We couldn't tornado him because he got tornadoed. So I don't know what his plan was. Just to irritate him.
The idea that they were just going to tornado one another, like, sounds like a 69ing sort of situation.
Oh, you're tornadoing each other? I'm not homophobic, but it's a bit gross, you know. Just. Oh, no.
Eva Mendes is down there looking up, just like, ugh. It'd be straighter if you didn't have that jacket on.
I didn't know you were into that. I think, I was happy with the flames and the motorbike, but that's kind of fucked up.
Just straight up tornadoing each other. A full 40 minutes on the top of that building. The helicopter guy watched and jacked off.
Luckily, he was over the moon. That was his best day. He was like, oh, finally, some good content. Jacking off in a helicopter, that's a pretty powerful way to die.
I've done it, didn't die. It's not true.
Ghost Rider then drops off the building after tornadoing and climaxing for 40 minutes. He then, the police are like, hands up.
Speaking of 40-minute climaxes, no. Sorry. You go.
I had an ejaculation story. It can wait for the Q&A. What's it called? Yeah, so then, he just leaves, and he's like, hey, we should chat. But then Wes is on the other building, far away, just like, so he has a weakness.
I love that. He didn't do anything to help the wind guy. The wind guy is the funniest thing. Like, so funny. So dumb, but so powerful, but not powerful at all.
Do you think his power was more just mocking you? Like, you can't get me, I'm the wind. That was his main, sort of actual power. The wind was secondary.
He's basically like my subconscious teasing me. That's what it felt like. Just like rocking around being like, you're not good enough, are you? Couldn't you have tried harder at that? Oh, you're giving up again? Like...
Just kind of negging you. That's his real power. Ghost Rider then's like, I'll give up. I'll sign the contract.
Ghost Rider cries a tear. The water is what kills him.
All right, so Ghost Rider drives off, goes to Sam Elliott again. Sam Elliott's like, well, you know, I was once a Ghost Rider. Maybe the original a Ghost Rider. Here's the contract. I kept it in my shovel. Nic Cage is somehow okay with this fucking just... Like, what a pointless use... What a wild goose chase of pointlessness. Anyway, they both get on... Well, Sam Elliott gets on a horse, a flaming horse. Nic Cage on a motorbike. Is this, like, is it dependent on whatever you do?
Yeah, like, if, say, Tiger Woods was the Ghost Rider, would it just be his golf clubs?
Like, what's... Yeah, if you have wheels on it, it's a golf cart.
Yeah, I don't know. Why did he not just get another horse guy? Why did he go for a motorbike guy?
I have no clue. I don't know if the devil picks him or if it's just chance. It's
just the devil being fucking lame again.
It's lame. But this is the part that's insane. Like, Sam Elliott's like, I'm going to come and help you. They then drive out to the middle of the desert. Sam Elliott's like, right, we got the cool shot? Cool. I'm out of here. Nic Cage is like, what? He's like, I'm done. I haven't really got a good reason, but I'm out. And Nic Cage is like, all right, let's do it.
He's flat out just like, I said that I would do it for $1 million for 3 days of shooting. My 3 days is up. We didn't get the shots. You're on your own. Like, and it walks off screen. It's a powerful moment in cinema, and I recommend you all watch it.
Seek it out. Seek it out. The water guy, so it's so strange. He's in the middle of like
oh
a
my
desert.
God,
like where
Jesus
is he?
Christ. All of the same complaints about wind guy, apply them to water guy. Swim away, move away. He's in your domain. How do all these people keep dying when they have the upper hand? And it's a flame guy.
I don't get it, because water grabs... So, first off, he's in the middle of a desert, but he's in, like, mangroves. The water guy grabs him. He then is underwater. He's fucked. And then Ghost Rider's like, well, I have the power of flame. It's like, no, you're underwater, mate. If anything, Wind Guy could have cut off the oxygen. Water Guy could have just got... He should have lost. It's a rock, paper, scissors.
They should have worked together. That's the thing. It should have been team building. That's what it should have done. But it's the same shit. The water guy's like, you can't catch water. Like,
he immediately flames him like, oh God, heat. Well, water can't do with this.
And what happens? I don't understand. Like, the total 100%, this writer put them into the film before even considering how the Ghost Rider would kill them. And it was just like, oh God, I'm absolutely stumped. Water and fire? Gee, what a yin and yang scenario, am I right?
Yin and yang. If yin and yang, if the black fish was in a black room and the white fish was in the same room, and the black one had a knife and it stabbed the white one, but yet the white one nailed it. It's a yin and yang in that way.
The writer is only putting Ghost Rider in situations where he can only die. And it's just like, yeah, but what if just he won?
Yeah, no clever like workaround. He wins. Moving on. All right, so now we've gone from the mangroves into like what seemed to be a ghost town. No pun intended. Wes, I can't believe this
had a lot of ghost puns. I'm gonna draw a line in the sand there. No more for you.
Well, that sucks. I've got 48 written down, but it's fine. I'll just...
Yeah, well, I have 48 too,
cool.
and you've taken 2 of them.
And in the bin it goes. They're prop comedy for you, you know? You know, it's the puns and the prop comedy, the highest form of comedy, I hear.
People come for the carrot and they stay for the top.
Truly, the top is what we offer here. A tornado, a top, I can tell.
Yeah, so we're in this dirty, filthy little climax.
Yeah.
Eva Mendes is there, she gets thrown against the wall. They fight over this contract for what feels like hours. I hated this.
I can't.
Hated it.
Wes's plan is. I think the contract has all the dead souls. I shit you not. The ending of this is pretty much the plot of Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo. Wes's plan is to get all the souls and put it into his body so he can be really big.
And Scooby-Doo does it better.
Does it way better. Way better.
It does it way better. I don't get what his plan is.
He wants to be...
What does he want to do?
I don't know, powerful. I don't know. He just wants to be like, fuck you, Dad. But I don't get it. He had so much power because his dad couldn't stop him.
But what will these souls do for him?
Make him powerful.
What power does that give him?
I don't know. He seems more powerful.
But how?
Carl, it's 50 random souls. It can only be good for you. Except it's not, because Nic Cage immediately goes, oh, you have a soul now? Cool, I can do...
How did nobody consider this? How did nobody consider this? It's so frustrating.
Wes goes up to him, haha, the one thing I have against you is I don't have a soul, so you can't do the Ghost Rider soul stare at me. And then he gets all the 50 souls, and then Ghost Rider's like, oh, so you now have 50 times the weakness of that poor mugger boy. Well, I'm going to do that onto you. And it destroys him. He's done. He's gone.
Oh, God. It's just like the audacity of these 4 boys to think... I just can't... We don't even see what the gravel guy can do. Like, he just gravels and dies. This is awful.
There's no
stuff.
stakes, and yet they've somehow made the stakes are like insanely high, but they haven't finished the stakes. So it's just a bunch of things happening which seem very drastic, but the solution's so simple every time.
Oh, it's like the writer's done one draft, that's it, and the producer's gone through of all the problems, and the writer's gone, okay, I didn't consider that.
But you did pay me for one draft, so I'm walking out like Sam Elliott.
And then the devil's like, cool, thanks for doing what I wanted you to do. I don't know, something. And then Nicolas Cage is like, I'm now going to use it against you. And the devil's like, oh, rats. Like, everybody's so weak and useless.
No power. Why would you give this? And again, this is framed as like a curse. For all I can see, Nic Cage only benefits famously. He can't die. He can turn into the flame guy when he wants. He can now beat the devil. How is this a curse?
If this is how useless the devil is, I would hate to see God. I reckon God would suck.
When I come to heaven, we haven't really got water at the moment, so you have to eat some jelly beans. Is that cool? Oh, Nic Cage, thank God you died. You're going to love it up here.
So we sent our water guy down to Earth. Not sure what happened to him. We haven't got wind up here either.
Lots of gravel, though.
No clue what's happening.
We have a lot of gravel, let me tell you. In terms of the floor, lots of gravel. Can't really get it out or in, but we've got it.
I just can't comprehend so many of the how does the devil never consider the fact that the Ghost Rider might go, cool, you've given me all the power, I'll use it against you. It like father, like son. The moment Wes was like, oh fuck, I've got 50 souls in me now, didn't consider that. Like, it's the one thing he does. It's the one thing Ghost Rider does, and you decided to put 50 souls into yourself.
He does it like minutes before as well. He like laughs at him, goes, you literally can't beat me. It's my only, I don't have there's no way you can. What's that? A glass full of souls. Glug, 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 glug. Also, so this is now done. Nic Cage finishes off telling Roxy going, I wish things could have gone different. I would have loved to be with you. Which is bullshit because he tells the devil gave him a free ride to be like, here's your life back. And he's like, soz babe, I've got this curse, have to kill the devil. Didn't have to. I think he's scared of commitment.
What an odd day this was for Eva Mendes.
Yeah, she woke up very early to get that journalistic thing at the at the motocross helicopter ride thing. And then she's like, "Oh my god, I know him. I guess I'll follow him. Oh, he wants to take me on a date. Well, I'll get blind drunk, and he will stand me up, and then I don't want to talk to him anymore. Wait, there he is on that building. I guess I'll go to chat to him. Oh, it turns out he's a Ghost Rider. Well, I guess I better help him destroy the devil. Oh no, I got kicked in the face by the devil. Oh, let me wake up." And then Nicolas Cage is like, "I don't think it's gonna work." What a bombastic fucking insane day for her.
I know. I love it. It's just like the day inside of the Wall Street Journal. Like,
what do they get up to? What does a Ghost Rider get up to?
Oscar, any other thoughts on this film before we wrap it up?
I think Nic Cage is giving... We didn't read about Nic Cage's performance. I think the writing's insane. I think he matches it. And I don't think he likes this, but hey, it's a bit of fun.
He's way more uncaged in the sequel. And if people like this episode, we'll be watching that sequel.
Juicy.
I would like to point out, I think one of the things that I thought was a bizarre acting choice and directing choice in this was there is a scene where Nicolas Cage doesn't want to listen to his friend, so he just points and laughs at a monkey on television like a child for a minute.
Yeah. We didn't touch on that at all.
It's weird.
It's weird, isn't it?
It's weird.
And he's eating jelly beans as well, going, I'm trying to relax, like a maniac.
This movie's ill. Okay, Oscar. Who would watch this?
Okay, I think if you think skulls and flames, motorbikes, kicking some ass, and loving Jesus, all rolled into a ball... thrown at you in the face, this is for you. That's the target audience.
Yeah.
Or your 11-year-old Carl.
Yeah, I mean, God, it was such a good film when I was a kid. Like, it was so flawless. God, if you're looking for a film that... And thank you for listening. If you're looking for a film, this is indeed one.
If you require a DVD to hold, well, this is the one for you. Or any DVD, really.
Isn't it wild films were like this?
Like
it's actually, God, it just puts it in perspective, like how... No wonder there was, like, a boom in superhero movies, because they were so bad for so long in the early 2000s.
It's weird they weren't marketing them to people that read comics. I don't think they do it anymore now, because it's just, like, too wide. But it was never... But it had a $110 million budget. It made $220 million. It made $8 million. Probably less.
Oscar, these effects were gorgeous.
These were the...
Better than Avatar. I'll say it now. Better than Avatar.
Navi looks like fucking garbage when you fucking see Ghost Rider go through. When he flames the water guy, oh, you can't be happy with that.
What's 110 million worth in 2007? A billion?
Yeah, I think...
That's an expensive film.
This is Lord of the Rings, Amazon. This is pretty much the same budget, I think, of the same quality we're going to get.
All right, Oscar. Palate cleanser?
Okay, well, I was meant to watch a Nicolas Cage film, but I didn't. And I watched some of, like, the best films... I watched a lot of amazing films. I watched Storytelling. I watched Aliens for the first time. But Carl, there's one thing I want to talk about in very pure detail because it's been keeping me up at night. I've been watching a show called Bake Squad.
Yes, I have finished said show.
Have you finished it? Cool, we can talk about it. Is it an elaborate joke to make it to look...
Is
Maya the worst chef in the fucking world?
The worst chef ever. She doesn't make anything good for it. Why is she on the show? Everybody else is so talented.
They are some of the best chefs in the world.
I'm so glad you watched it.
Oh my God, that first thing she makes, the premise is you have to make a cake for a wedding, I don't know, something. Essentially, one guy's like the best chocolate man in the world. One guy's French. One girl makes beautiful wedding cakes. Maya, who is apparently, I looked her up, she's the queen of taste. Which is bullshit, because we can't taste it. I don't think it looks like good. She makes, like, a sheet pan football field with the worst icing in the world.
It's literally like if my parents tried to make a cake, I would have been like, wow, you guys dropped the ball. And that's if your parents made it. Like, constantly through the show, because they bring the contestants in or whatever, and they're like, hey... What do these people like and what do they want? And we'll have a little discussion before we go and make them. And Maya's always just like, do they like pie? And they're like, no, they don't like pie. And so she makes a pie anyway.
I'll make
just making
5
fucking
pies. I'll make the largest comically bad pies.
She's like, I'm gonna double down. I'm gonna make 5 giant fucking pies. Oh, I'm sorry. Are you making a fucking dragon egg that cracks open into a cake? Cool. Well, I made a pumpkin pie and a violet pie and an apple pie and oh, I'm sorry. Do you like bread and butter pudding? Well, I've done a bread and butter pudding cake. It's the densest fucking thing I've ever seen.
It's layered. She's like, also the host is, my god, she must be just prodding and prowling. Constantly she comes around to all the chefs. She's like, that is amazing. Oh my god. She gets to Maya. She's like, you know what you should do? Make it taller. Make a wet, mushy cake taller, and it never works, and she's just prodding and pushing her.
I felt bad for the other woman who I think made some excellent things, but always got picked over because some of the other things were like interactive, but I thought were useless.
Didn't she make a fucked up cat one though? That one? Those like the 2 cats? Was that
yeah,
episode?
and the tails became a love heart?
That wasn't great. She's definitely Maya's a fucking train wreck, but she's definitely very cake heavy. I think she'd nail Cake Boss.
The one with the accent is the dreamiest man committed to television, and I'll run away with him in a heartbeat.
That fucker constantly. I can't stress to you how shit Maya is and how good these boys are. This guy's like, oh man, my massive ice cream made out of 40 different layers needs. It needs something else. I know. I'll blow sugar glass into a cherry. So impressive. And Maya's fucking drawing like smiley faces on like a hideous little doll. It's like, is this good? Like, no, it's not good.
Oh god, it's so funny too because the contestants come around. There's one where like one of the people trying stuff is like a little girl, and it's just like she gets to Maya's thing and it's like, oh, whoa. Maya, that's what I wanted. Like, and granted, the other woman is like, hey, you can throw your baby into this dessert, and slides a fake baby down us. The show's mental, and I can't wait, and I hope there's a season 2.
Oh, I'm glad we touched on that. I've got other films. I'm not chatting about them. What did you watch,
that's
Carl?
my palate cleanser too. That's my palate cleanser too. Absolutely loved it. Everybody watch it.
If you made the show or worked on the show, just tell us. Is it a joke? Is it like a elaborate? Is it just like because? Oh my god!
Are you there to mock her? It feels mean that you have her on the show.
It's like if it's like some of the stuff's okay, but when you put her up to like this man who I think's they call him like the god of chocolate. He can pretty much do anything with chocolate. It's gonna look foolish.
Yeah. Oh, like the other woman when she's carving a cake it's like an artist. She's got a sharp fucking
Shaping
knife
marble.
and a picture, and she's just fucking chipping it away, and is like, oh wow, look how lifelike it is. And the poor other person's like, I've made a carrot cake. I didn't get time for icing. I know it was 7 hours. Like.
That one where she makes like I can't remember what it's called, like a float cake. She makes it in like the shape of 60, and the host comes over. It's like, you know, this really bland fucking cake could use some fruit, Maya. She's like, are you sure? She's like, it could use some fruit. Put some fruit on this.
She just does a 6 and a 0 at one stage, and the other one's like, I've got hanging ice creams, and it's like you're in a winter wonderland. Oh my god,
it's atrocious. Oh, seek it out. It's on Netflix.
If this show bombs, it's gonna upset me so much. I hope it's a hit. All right, Oscar, what are we reviewing next week? We're doing Spy Month, everybody.
Hells yeah, we're doing Spy Month, and we're doing the best or worst James Bond, Die Another Day. Everyone love it?
It's definitely Pierce Brosnan's worst, and it momentarily killed the franchise till Casino Royale.
And we're gonna check it out, baby.
Madonna's in it.
Oh, and she's never been in my least favorite film ever. Wowee, can't wait. I'm actually upset. Is she actually? That, like, it's such a trend that she's, like, Swept Away. I mean, we've that has to be, like, constantly I think about how much I hate that film.
Same. Anytime I'm like, oh, is this the worst one we've done yet? And then I remember Swept Away was a thing.
Yeah. Ugh.
It's crazy Guy Ritchie directed that.
Yeah. Disgusting.
His career should be over.
It
because
should
of
be
that
over.
film.
He should have been cancel cultured. Like, just Anyway, thanks for listening.
Thank you for listening.